Okay, here's the old brake master cylinder, standard type, and this is the new servo with new brake master and fluid reservoir to be fitted. So here's the servo with its mounting bracket that goes on, but we need to use this one, an original mounting bracket that goes on the beam. As you can see, when we position the bracket on top of the new one, our mounting holes don't line up, so we have to cut some notches out of this bracket here, and then we're going to weld it together. There's the old mounting bracket modified and fitted on top of the new one, and this will then be welded together and then fitted onto the beam. So the end of the servo needs a rod of some description. If you've got some M14 threaded bar, that'll go in. But if you haven't, the other option is to weld a nut onto the end of the servo rod and then feed a different type of bar in, something like an M10 for example, and you'll be able to feed that all the way through. If I just show you here, spinning this on, that'll go inside. That'll be welded onto there, and then we can use this to adjust the rod and put a lock nut on it as well. So here's the servo trowel fitted on the bracket, so it's mounted on the beam. Now what we really need to know is the distance from the end of the servo to the bottom of the brake pedal. So let's use a tape measure and see how much it is. And there we go. So this is the old rod from the end of the brake master, which if we unthread it, we can do away with the rest of it, and just that fixing that goes onto the bottom of the brake pedal. We take our new threaded bar, here we go, see it there, and we're going to weld that in to the end of this. So here's the bar with the attachment fitted, welded on. That's going to go onto the bottom of the brake pedal, and then if we look at the servo, take the bar and we can feed it straight in. There we go. And the brake fluid reservoir inside the cab needs to be removed, and then the pipe that goes off to the second fluid reservoir on the brake master cylinder, that needs to be lengthened to about at least 30 centimetres or more. And here's it going back in again. It's just feeding the pipe down through underneath the vehicle. Okay, so with the servo in position, we can now fit the threaded bar and wind it in, and then we're going to connect it to the bottom of the brake pedal. Now here's the new servo fitted with the brake master cylinder. As you can see, there's the new reservoir which goes up to the old reservoir in the cab. Brake light switches need to be refitted and the wiring extended. The old brake pipes also need to be fitted on there. And then the next stage is to look at the vacuum pipes. You can see there's one pipe which goes straight on, and then there's a steel pipe that goes all the way underneath the vehicle right back to here. Here's the end of the steel pipe. That's the kink there. That needs to be at the back to clear the beam, and the pipe goes all the way to the front and connects to the servo. Now I've got the pipe work the servo all the way through to here. This is a rubber pipe now. It's going to be a vacuum servo pipe going over the beam, and this will be fed into the engine bay. Now the vacuum pipe from the steel pipe in the middle of the vehicle runs right through underneath the tinware. Here's the rocker cover for the engine, underneath the tinware, and if you can find a hole, or make a hole in the tinware and feed it up into the engine bay. Okay, if you haven't got a vacuum outlet on the inlet manifold, you need to remove the inlet manifold and then drill and tap a section for an outlet. And here's one supplied in the kit. And this will be attached to the vacuum pipe that goes up to the servo. After refitting the inlet manifold, to run a short vacuum pipe through to the connection that goes to the front, and also a one-way valve.